Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're basically architects. We are looking at the literal blueprints for success.
It's good to be back. And architects is a very specific word choice, isn't it?
It is, because our theme today is the architecture of influence and performance. I think we all have this romantic idea that creativity is just this bolt of lightning.
The spontaneous genius myth.
Right.
We love that story.
We do. The writer just waiting for the muse, or the YouTuber who just hits record and is, I don't know, effortlessly brilliant.
But when you actually dig into the sources, and we have a huge stack today, everything from marketing forecasts for 2027 to breakdowns of morning routines, you see, it's not spontaneous at all. It's incredibly rigid.
And that's our whole premise. Whether you're talking about a viral video or a high-performance life, it's all built on structures, it's formulas, all the way down.
It's engineering. It's not magic. And honestly, that should be a relief, because if it's engineering, well, it means you could build it. You don't have to just wait around for lightning to strike.
So here's the plan for today. We're splitting this deep dive into two halves. First up, the external templates. We're talking specific rules for getting engagement on YouTube, on podcasts, even Instagram, looking ahead to 2026 and 2027.
The cheat codes for the algorithm, basically.
Exactly. And then we're going to pivot to the internal operating system. Because you can have the best content strategy in the world, but if you're burnt out, if your brain is just fog, it doesn't matter. So we're comparing two giants, the 5 a.m. Club and the Miracle Morning.
Oh, I love this pairing. Because we can look at the what and the how, but I really want to dig into the why, the neuroscience behind why these structures actually work on our brains.
All right, let's do it. We're starting with the visual gateway, YouTube thumbnails. Our source here is a report from Uncoa Marketing, and the first thing that just jumped out at me was this quote: "The thumbnail does more work than the title."
It's a billboard, not a paragraph. That's the whole idea. You're competing with dozens of other images in a feed.
Yeah.
And Uncoa suggests this really practical test. They call it the postage stamp test.
I actually tried this on my phone right before we started. You take your design and you shrink it way down to 168 by 94 pixels.
Which is tiny.
It's microscopic. And the rule is, if you can't instantly tell what that video is about at that size, you failed. It doesn't matter how great it looks in 4K on your big monitor.
Right. If it's a blur on a phone, it's useless. And that clarity usually comes down to color. The report talks about something called the 60-30-10 color rule.
Wait, 60-30-10? That sounds like something from, I don't know, interior design.
You're spot on. It's stolen straight from interior design. Think about a well-designed room. 60% is a dominant color, like the walls. 30% is secondary, maybe the furniture. And that last 10%, that's the accent, the throw pillows.
Okay, so paint the picture for a thumbnail. How do I use throw pillow logic here?
So let's say you have a navy blue background. That's your 60%. Your shirt is gray. That's your 30%. And then, boom, bright yellow text. That's your 10%.
And that little pop of yellow is what grabs your eye.
Precisely. And that combination, yellow on navy, is so important because of dark mode. High contrast is. That's non-negotiable now. Your design has to work on a black background or you just vanish.
Speaking of text, this was a hard pill for me to swallow. The rule is strictly 3 to 5 words, max.
It's painful for anyone who likes words, isn't it? But people don't read, they scan.
And please, no shouting in all caps.
The report was really clear on that. It just looks amateur now. The text should be like a movie title, "I quit my job." It creates curiosity. But here's where it gets really interesting for me. The face. For years, it's been the YouTube face. You know the one.
Oh, I know it. Mouth open, hands on cheeks. I just saw a ghost look.
That one. Well, the data says we've hit peak saturation on that. Viewers are numb to it. It actually signals clickbait now. The trend is moving towards genuine emotion.
So like a real look of surprise or confusion or even anger.
Yes, our brains are wired to read faces. It's an evolutionary thing. And we're getting better and better at spotting fakes. So the guidance is to position the eyes in the upper third of the frame.
Which lines up with the rule of thirds, right?
Exactly. You put a tic-tac-toe grid over your image. You don't want the focal point dead center. That's a mugshot. You want it at the intersections. It creates tension. It tells a story.
Okay, last thing on thumbnails, directional elements. Sometimes I see thumbnails with like a million arrows and circles.
Total visual noise. The
Yeah.
rule is one. One arrow. One circle. You have to guide the eye, not assault it.
Okay, so we've designed the billboard. They've clicked. Now we have to actually keep them. So let's talk scripting with insights from Justin Brown at Primal Video and Studio Binder. And Justin Brown comes right out and attacks a habit I think we're all guilty of.
The polite intro.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm so-and-so. Welcome back to my channel.
And they're gone. The viewer has already clicked away. They don't care who you are yet. The Primal Video template flips it. You start with the hook.
Yeah.
In this video, I'm going to show you X. Boom.
And then you do your intro.
Only then. You earn their time before you ask for it. But the most powerful tool he talks about is this psychological mechanic, the open loop.
I love this idea. It's basically what a TV show does before a commercial break, isn't it?
Exactly. Or what a great storyteller does. At the start of the video, you tease something specific that you'll only reveal at the end. You say, and stick around because I'm going to share the one secret that doubles watch time.
And now I have to stay. My brain needs to close that loop.
There's a name for it in psychology. It's called the Zeigarnik effect.
The what effect?
The Zeigarnik effect. A psychologist noticed that waiters could remember unpaid orders perfectly, but once the bill was paid, once the task was complete, they forgot the order. Our brains crave completion. An open loop is a cognitive itch that only finishing the video can scratch.
That is so sneaky. I love it. Now, Studio Binder's approach is a bit more technical. They push for the AV script. 2 columns, audio on the left, visuals on the right.
And creators skip this because it feels like extra work, but it's so important because it forces you to think about what the viewer is seeing. If your audio column is full of text, but the visual column is blank.
You're just making a boring talking head video.
Exactly. A blank space in that visual column is a huge red flag that you need B-roll or a graphic or something.
And the big takeaway for me from Studio Binder was about pacing. They said, word count means nothing. You have to read your script out loud with a stopwatch.
It's crucial. We all speak at different speeds. We pause. If you just go by word count, your video will feel either rushed or like it's dragging on forever.
Okay, so that's video. Let's pivot to the other content pillars. We looked at Buzzsprout for podcasting and Automated for Instagram, looking out to 2027.
And with podcasting, it's interesting because even though it's audio, the same structural rules apply. Buzzsprout says even a freestyle show needs a skeleton. Intro, segue, summary.
It just saves you so much time in the edit, right? Less rambling.
Totally. But the key tactic for me was doing keyword research before you even outline, using a tool like Answer the Public.
I've heard of that. How does it help with structure, though?
Well, it scrapes Google to find the literal questions people are asking. So instead of guessing, maybe people want to know about microphones, you see the data. You see that people are actually searching how to start a podcast with no money.
So you build the episode around answering that exact question. The demand is already there.
Precisely. You're aligning your structure with reality, not just your gut feeling.
Okay, let's talk Instagram, because this is where I see a big shift happening. The source from Automated says by 2027, carousels, the slide-through posts, are going to be king.
The stats are, they're wild. 12% more engagement than Reels and 114% more than a static image.
114%. That's huge. But hold on, I thought Reels were the thing. Everyone's saying pivot to video.
Okay, so here's the key distinction. Reels get you reach. The algorithm pushes them to strangers. But carousels get you saves. And a save is the highest quality signal you can send the algorithm.
Because a save means this is so valuable, I need to come back to it.
Correct. It signals utility. A reel can be entertaining for a few seconds, but a good carousel is educational. And the sweet spot for length is 8 to 12 slides.
They also mentioned this trend, the photo dump, which kind of feels like a rebellion against that super perfect curated feed we've seen for years.
It absolutely is. It's this move toward authenticity.
Oh,
showing the messy desk, the coffee stain. It's about humanizing the brand and saying, hey, there's a real person behind all this content.
Which is funny because to be that person, that content machine, you need a system. You can't run on willpower. Your brain will just get fried.
And that brings us perfectly to the internal operating system. You can't run high-performance software on hardware that's constantly overheating.
Exactly. So let's talk about morning routines. We looked at the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma and the Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod.
And both of them are built on this one core idea.
Yeah.
Win the morning, win the day. But they go about it in really different ways.
Let's start with the 5 a.m. Club. I'll be honest, 5 a.m. just sounds painful. Is there some magic to that hour, or is it just about discipline?
Oh, there's some science there. Sharma talks about a concept called transient hypofrontality.
Okay, whoa, that's a mouthful. Break that down for us.
Right. So your prefrontal cortex, think of that as the CEO of your brain. It's the part that worries, analyzes, stresses about your to-do list. When you first wake up at 5 a.m., that part is, well, it's basically still offline.
So my inner critic is still asleep.
Essentially, yes. You're primed for a state of flow. The quiet and the solitude let you access a focus that's just impossible at 2 p.m. when your phone is blowing up.
So Sharma's system for this is the 20-20-20 formula. It's very structured.
He calls it the victory hour. First 20 minutes, 5:00 to 5:20 is move.
And he doesn't mean just like a gentle stretch, does he?
No, the sources are clear. You must sweat. This is crucial. Intense exercise first thing in the morning releases something called BDNF.
BDNF sounds important.
It's like miracle grow for your brain cells. It repairs neurons and speeds up learning. Plus, you get a hit of dopamine. You're jump-starting your brain chemistry for the day.
Okay, so you're sweaty, you're full of dopamine. Then from 5.20 to 5.40, you reflect.
This is your journaling, your meditation, your planning. This boosts serotonin. It makes you proactive instead of reactive. You're setting the terms for your day before the world can set them for you.
And the final 20 minutes until 6.0 is grow.
Learning. Read a book, listen to a podcast. The idea is day stacking. If you get just 1% better every single day in this block, the compound effect over a year is it's massive.
Okay, so the 5 a.m. club is very prescriptive. Move, reflect, grow. Now let's compare that to the Miracle Morning. This one feels a little more flexible.
It's more like a menu. The acronym is SAVERS.
Let's run through them. S is for silence.
So meditation, prayer. Very similar to Sharma's reflect block.
A, it's for affirmations.
Actively programming your subconscious to combat things like imposter syndrome.
V is visualization.
Mentally rehearsing success. Athletes do this all the time. They visualize the shot before they take it.
E is for exercise.
But notice, he doesn't say you have to sweat intensely. It could be yoga, a walk. It's just about movement.
R is for reading, and S is scribing.
Which is just a very fancy word for journaling because, he needed an S for the acronym.
I get it. So the main difference is that the 5 a.m. club is like, do this, then this, then this, while Miracle Morning is more like, here are 6 tools, pick your adventure.
Exactly. Sharma is the drill sergeant, and Elrod is the supportive coach. But they both agree you have to put a fence around that first hour of your day to build your internal capacity before the world tries to drain it.
It's about protecting your cognitive bandwidth.
That's the perfect phrase. We all start the day with a full battery. If the first thing you do is scroll social media, you've just spent 20% of your battery on strangers on the internet.
That really connects everything for us today. The YouTube thumbnail follows a rule to save the viewer's mental energy. The video script uses an open loop to command their attention. And the morning routine preserves your own energy so you can actually create all this stuff.
It all comes down to one word: intentionality. That's the common thread. The amateur waits for inspiration to show up. The professional builds a system.
I love that. Using a template doesn't kill your creativity, it creates the container for it to thrive in.
Think about the rule of thirds. It's a constraint, it's a grid, but it's what allows you to compose a beautiful shot. The 20-20-20 rule is a constraint, but it frees you from the paralysis of what should I do now when you wake up.
So what does this all mean for you, listening? We've thrown a lot of structures at you today.
I think the big takeaway is to stop trying to reinvent the wheel every single day. If you're struggling with energy, pick one of the morning routines, not both.
Yeah, please don't try to wake up at 5 a.m. and do the SAVERS and redesign your thumbnails tomorrow morning. You'll just crash.
Right. It's a recipe for burnout. Start with one thing, just the move part, or just try using an open loop in your next video.
So here's a final thought to leave you with, and it connects 2 of our sources. We talked about the open loop in video scripting, right? Teasing a reward to keep people watching. What if you applied that to your own life? What if you created an open loop for yourself, teasing a reward that you only get after you finish your victory hour?
Oh, that's good. You're basically gamifying your own brain chemistry.
Exactly. I'm not going to have that amazing cup of coffee until I've done my 20 minutes of sweating. You keep that loop open, how much would that change your consistency?
That's a powerful reframe. You're using the exact same psychology that keeps you glued to a YouTube video, but for your own benefit. You're hacking the Zeigarnik effect.
So that's your challenge. Pick one of these templates, content or personal, and test it for 30 days. Be the architect.
And let the structure set you free.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you